you're going in the evening, let's say, how close will you dare get, and how do conditions and the terrain and all that affect that decision?
Yeah, ideally, if I'm going in for the afternoon and say I know a roundabout area, a pretty tight little area where a buck's bedding, if I can get within 75 yards of him, I feel like your chances of killing him go way, way up. I've killed several bucks now over the past 10 years where I watched them stand up out of their bed, and those sits, it takes me hours to get, a couple hundred yards. I'm just moving so slow. And a lot of times the conditions are dry and it's, leaves are crunchy. So it's just really, really tough. And, if you get a rain or a front moving in, that's obviously the best time to target those. And hopefully, with all the intel I have, I can, kind of make a play on the weather and all that. So it's not so difficult to get in on them. But I think back to a buck that I killed in 2016. It was early season. It was hot and dry. I knew right where he was bedding at. I slipped in there. Luckily that afternoon, it was pretty windy. We had a pretty solid wind out of the southwest at probably 10, 12 mile an hour. So just using conditions like that, it could be hot and dry, but if you get a good windy afternoon where it's kind of covering up your noise a little bit, that let me get in close to that buck. I watched him stand up, and he only made it probably 40 yards out of his bed before I shot him. But yeah, I feel like if you can get inside 100 yards, you might be in good shape. But I like to get as close as I possibly can.
Yeah, and if we're talking, there is a big difference. If we're talking private land that you're managing, that is you're controlling more things, you probably should be a little less aggressive, right? Like,
Sure.
why
Yep.
would you be jumping in so close to their beds if you know he's probably going to come to this food plot and whatever?
Right.
You can typically pattern them better in that regard and not have to do that. But yeah,
Yep.
when we're talking public land, big difference, right?
Right.
Getting really close, I have also found is really important. And screening's important. Is there screening there visually? Again, talking to like an evening hunt. And I've had similar circumstances where I've gotten him with like 20 yards of deer,
Yep.
and I'm set up, and then this buck just stands up, and it's like I walk right past him. But you're looking for that I call it cover sound, right? When the wind is blowing and you got leaves, making noise, you take a couple steps, right?
Yep.
When a plane flies overhead, you take a couple more steps. And even if it's crunchy, that covers what you're doing.
Yep.
And I would totally agree with you. It's not a race. It's not a race to get up and sit in your tree or whatever, however you're set up. Because if you get there quickly, there's no prize if you bump all the deer out, right? Or
100%.
tip off that buck. So having time and allocating time to do that is super important. I realize when I've been rushed before, like it's after work. I'm like flying to get somewhere, and I just got to get there. And you make mistakes. Like you go quick, you are gonna make mistakes. So allocating time is super important.